Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. From Fox News, President Biden's State of the Union report card. Experts give their grades. Biden found common ground on Ukraine. Yeah, that's like saying we have common ground that we shouldn't beat up on small children and torture animals. Well, of course you're gonna get common ground. Anybody with two brain cells touching, in fact, what they're doing in Ukraine, how can anybody condone it? But it wasn't compelling or actionable, top GOP and Democratic communications officers say. Now, here is my take on President Biden's brain during the speech. Just a plain old dial tone. Now, what I personally think of his entire speech, that's what I think. But we're going to read this article and see what the so-called experts think. Let's read on. Former speechwriters and communication experts from top elected officials and cabinet secretaries weighed in on Biden's State of the Union address, praising the president for his strong support of Ukraine, but criticizing it for being lackluster and uninspiring. Yeah, it was about as uninspiring as this, frankly. I mean, you know what? They say it's not supposed to be polite to make fun of your elders, but this guy's the president of the United States. If you can't criticize your own leaders, you can't criticize anybody. Biden's speech marked the most consequential of his lifetime. Yeah, I mean, think about that for a minute. This is the most consequential speech he's given so far in his lifetime. And this is how bad it is. Bad. Biden's speech marked the most consequential of his lifetime as U.S. inflation soars. Now, I'm old enough to remember I got out of high school in 74. I remember distinctly what inflation does. There were mortgage interest rates up to 20% plus. That's insane. Wage and price freezes during the Nixon times, if you remember. Well, that was probably a bigger scar than Watergate, in my opinion. But anyway, an Eastern European devolves into war between Russia and Ukraine. Members of the Congress attending this speech were wearing small lapel pins of blue and yellow to show solidarity with the people of Ukraine. I didn't mind that so much, but you got to wear a lapel pin of your own country. You're in the House of Representatives. You have to wear that pin. You don't have to, but it shows your loyalty to the country. They should have wore both. I would have had no problem with it. During his speech, Biden announced that his administration is banning Russian planes from American airspace. Ooh. Well, what? What's next? You don't get a Jell-O cup for dessert? In addition, economic sanctions and other measures he has taken in recent days. Well, Maria Bartoloma said it outright. Our imports of Russian oil has doubled in the last year. And that's where all the cash is. Cha-ching. That's where the money is. And you can read on, like I said, his approval ratings at 43%. Let's get some of the critiques. Let's get to some of the critiques. David Willizel, president of the ghostwriting from the 7th Floor Strategies, gave Biden a C. The best thing Biden said tonight was to fund the police, which he really didn't mean. He's getting killed by independents. Those are the guys in the middle. Those are the people that swing elections 95% of the time, either way. Threw them a bone. Are the independents that stupid to think, oh, Joe Biden's turned over a new leaf? Unbelievable. He doesn't mean it anyway. Oh, God. Well, then we'll make up for the administration's posture of weakness, which helped provoke Vladimir Putin's invasion. That's absolutely correct. That giant F-bomb in Afghanistan is the number one reason for this. Except for a couple of passing references to China, which is not nearly enough, this speech was lacking in addressing other national security measures. Let's go to another one. Now, of course, senior speechwriter for former President Obama, wait for it, gave Biden an A. That's my response to that. Got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. My response to him is this. Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be kidding me, right? It was an ace speech. He did exactly the things he needed to do. There was a moment when he was trying to remind a lot of Americans who voted for him and who approved of his job performance as early as June or even September why they supported him. I think he did it. I think he did that really effectively. What a crock of baloney. I can't get into the election because this is YouTube and you'll be crushed under their censorship. But the ones that did vote for Biden voted for him because he wasn't Donald Trump. So what do you think about all those mean tweets now and isolating our allies in Europe, which, by the way, Trump pushed them to spend hundreds of billions of dollars more in NATO in their defense than they had before Trump was president. Makes you wonder. I don't care how you get there. It's the results that matter. And I was a businessman for over 20 years, and that's just common sense thinking. He was using language that Americans use all the time, so he makes him sound like the common man. Joe, Uncle Joe from Scranton. And I think that's why people elected him in the first place. He wasn't Trump. Granted, the Democratic field was pretty crappy. Let's go on. Speechwriter, former speechwriter for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo gave him a C- to both the content and flow. Yeah, it looked like you could read the rest of this. I'm not going to read it all. Looked like there were bits and pieces stuck together. Like they carved parts out. They just didn't fit together. Jonathan Bronitsky called it tone deaf, D+. Former speech writer for Attorney General Bill Barr and co-founder of the D.C.-based Relations gave him a D+. The buck stops with me. The president didn't acknowledge responsibility for the problems he's produced. Yeah, it's like I was a city councilman in the early 2000s for 8 years. As a Democrat, I left the party years ago. And I decide I want to dump garbage on this guy's lawn. Just take my garbage and throw it on his lawn. And he knows it's me. He just can't do anything about it. So I go knocking on this door, running for re-election and say, vote for me, and I'll make sure garbage isn't dumped on your lawn anymore. Wait a minute. It's you that's dumping the garbage, you a-hole. You created this problem between immigration and inflation. You pumped that many trillions of dollars into a country that's been locked down for over a year. You're going to get huge inflation. Frighteningly, as the current White House resident get any younger, this might stand as the most lucid State of the Union of his administration. And there's another one, Rusty Hills, laundry list land, great to the sea. And I got the sense that the speech underwent so many changes so late in the process, the president was still getting used to it as he delivered it. Hills explained, saying also that Biden saved his best line for last, that the State of the Union is strong. What are you going to say? The State of the Union is weak? Jesus. It is what it is. And that should scare the hell out of you. I'm telling you, it should scare the hell out of you. The two people standing behind him are the next in line and then next second in line to the President of the United States, Vice President Harris and Speaker Pelosi. Those two are on the bench warming up. And if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, nothing will. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.